Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, 2 days away from the perfect pitch training. Join us, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Jake, Andrew, Gemma, Andrew, Samir, welcome. First up, first to go. Let's ask some questions. Let's pin up 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. If you haven't seen the trainings, just go to Spotify. I'm featured there, or Entrepreneur featured there. Just go ahead. Where we're going, what we're doing. You are here. If you did not get the exercises guides from Ultimate Ego, the 5 to Thrive sales training, transition, any of the different guides, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com, or you can text me to join my community, 949-298-2905. It's right there, pinned below. Danielle, Bo, good to see you. Let's get some questions rolling here. In the morning, let's grab them. Here we go. What's the number one thing to include in your pitch? The number one thing is the ask. Believe it or not, the number one thing that's forgotten the most is ask for what you want. And it could be, do you know anyone that could help me? That's a good ask, but know what you want help with. So the ask is the most important thing, the number one thing to include. But the most important thing is credibility, because if you're 100% credible, people will do whatever you ask. Got it? Cool. Good way to start here today. Welcome. All right, here we go. What's one life lesson you wish you learned earlier? Radical humility. And I still wish I've learned it. I wish I could learn radical humility to get out of my own way, to use my free will to clear the interference and corrosion that I create for myself from what I'm already connected to. And that's the lesson I really try to teach. It's the 2 words I keep on my nightstand and on my desktop and everywhere that I can. Radical humility is what allows us to connect to the greatest source of light, love, and lessons, and each other. What's your why? Well, I believe everyone knows their why. It's to help somebody with something. Mine is to empower over 1 billion people to be happy, create a collective consciousness of happiness, to stop attacking thoughts, judgments, and conditions, to stop sadness, anger, anxiety, the need to be right, offended, separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, any of those things. That's my why, and I focus in on my what. What do I want today according to my non-negotiables, my personal values, my receiving values, my giving values, and of course my experiential values. What do I want to experience today? And on Friday, we're all going to experience the perfect pitch training. Come join us. We got the 2-minute drill. It's the pilot for the Bloomberg TV show, 2-minute drill that we'll be filming for, and people will be trying out with unbelievable prizes and cash and all types of great things to win with great companies, great partners, and great pitches. And they can be anything. You could pitch, like I say all the time, how to get your kid to eat broccoli to multi-billion-dollar opportunities. I don't care. I will give you feedback and we'll pick a winner who has the actual best pitch. Let's see here. Do you drink filtered water? Yes, I do. Alkaline 88 is my go-to. I got some right here. Check this out. It says the lemon line. It tastes like that water you get at those expensive hotels when you walk in. If you need my book, Caleb, all you got to do is email me, david@dmeltzer.com. I will send you a free book. Anyone, go ahead, reach out, david@dmeltzer. Share it with your friends. Get them one for a gift. It's free. Can you pitch Michigan football OSU versus OSU football? Yeah, pitch whatever you want. It's about winning the pitch competition, the best pitch. I see my friend Beth here. Let's see. Grab her real quick. And it's a pleasure to have Beth on here. Frisky, good to see you. Welcome, everyone. There she is.
Here I am. Hi.
I like your
that.
background.
You like that? That's one of my great artists, Linda Coletta. Radical humility, I like. And I also saw Justin Pugh is on here, one of my favorite clients. Hey, Justin. I could tell you a story about Justin for sure.
I'm sure you can. Well, we are blessed to have you on here, and you have so many extraordinary clients and doing such good things. It's funny, we both help athletes, celebrities, entertainers, high net wealth individuals, and everyone.
Yeah.
And it's funny that people are so resistant to help, which is how I came up with radical humility, because in order
Ah.
to ask for help, and that's my biggest flaw, the biggest lesson that I continually have to practice and keep learning. People ask me, how the hell did you lose all that money? Because I wasn't humble. I never asked anyone for help. I didn't find anyone in the situation I wanted to be in. I thought I knew it all. And now I don't know what I don't know. And mathematically, I can prove that.
Yes.
What was your inspiration to help others with coaching and mentoring?
I think I did uh, some learning and development programs when I was young at 19 and really just got fascinated with the whole world of helping people be better humans, including myself. I'm not saying I am, great. Radical humility means you get off your pedestal as a mother, as a boss, as a parent, as a girlfriend or a wife or a husband, etc., and really be curious about what sucks about you and care
Yeah.
about what sucks about you and how you friggin' impact people and care about that. And then our method then changes you, right? So it really, I was just a big asshole.
Well, we have that in common.
So it really was like, okay, let me help myself and help people. And my sister and I, we co-founded Handel together, have always just been like 16 years ago, let's see if we can make this into a business, because executive life coaching was not happening 16 years ago. We were thought of like, oh, you people are weird, which we already are. And obviously, we made it work. We're now the largest executive life coaching company and having a ball helping people. But yeah, people have to be willing to admit, all right, yeah, you suck in certain areas. We all do. We all come with what's great about us and what sucks about us. And we got to give permission to people to make it safe for them to tell us what it is. So my 19-year-old daughter gets to tell me, what sucks about me and ask me to change it in a beautiful way. So it's not like be mean about it, sock people, but there is really an art form to it that we teach.
Yeah, you do. And the superpower that I have found is I keep telling people we've been blessed to be around the biggest celebrities, athletes, and entertainers as I ran Lee Steinberg. And what I learned was no matter who you are, the same percentage of your life sucks that anybody else is. And what my superpower is I help people find the light, the love, and the lessons in the suck. And ironically, just so you know, I had to close the door to my closet studio here because my 19-year-old daughter was telling my wife how much she sucked. And it seemed to me, just from my experience as a coach, it seemed to me like a lot of projection. If you hear me, it seemed to me a lot of anxiety, fear being projected onto somebody that she knows that she can beat up on and project her fear on. That's what it seemed to me, but I was only listening through the closet door and I wanted to stay far away.
No, understood. There really is. You have to be, well, let me go backwards. So if you can imagine, there's 80% of a human being's inner dialogue, your thoughts, that are negative. And 95% of the 80% that's negative is the same shit you thought the day before. So if 80% of your subconscious is negative, that then gives you your actions and gives you your results. So the areas where your results are rocking, you're flying, you're doing great, your inner dialogue matches your dreams, like nothing's in the way. The areas that are on shaky ground, someone else is running the show. I call them your board members, right? And there's three of them. There's your chicken voice, the one that's the avoider. There's your brat, the defiant one, like my 19-year-old, right? And I can be bratty. And then there's your weather reporter that's the excuse maker. It's never your fault. It's always like, I don't have time. Like, that's real. Like, I don't have time to go to the gym. But if I told you I'll pay $1 million to go to the gym, you'll find the time. So we have people start by identifying their chicken, brat, and weather reporter. And one of my favorite stories, and if Justin's still on, he will remember this, and I'm allowed to share about Justin, is I got a text in January from him that said, I thought of you today. I had to speak at the state senate of Arizona, and he sent me the clip and he rocked it. And underneath it, he said, my chicken told me not to do it, but I told him to fuck off. And
Nice.
that is exactly what we do, is you have to first meet your chicken. You have to first meet your brat. You have to first meet what gets in your way, right? And then we teach you how to get out of it. But I can't get you out of your chicken until you go, oh my God, I really am a chicken. I don't speak up to my boss. I get scared of David. Or your daughter, right, has some kind of something with the wife, right? And the wife should be curious, not all like, oh, you're projecting on me. Like, honey, what's up that you're this upset? So there's always something that's worthy of diving into and going to look. Like you said, radical humility. You got to be willing to see your cavities. So where Handel comes in is we care about your cavities and pollution. Why? Because we are going to fight for your dream. All we want is for you to have your dreams. Could we get you out of the way?
That is so good. Well, I talk about corrosion and interference to what we're already connected to. And I love hearing other people's descriptions and definitions of a similar frequency, right? A solution of happiness. And as you know, my major, someone asked me what my why is to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. And it takes 1,000 people like you. I would say, you know, when I started standing on stages, even within my family, they're like, who do you think you are? Tony Robbins or Jesus Christ? I was like, hey, it's just math to me. I know there's 1,000 people like Beth out there that can empower 1,000 to empower 1,000. And if you do the math, 1,000 times 1,000, 1,000,000, 1,000,000 times 1,000, 1,000,000,000, we can create a collective consciousness that deals with the exact same issues of your chicken and your brat, et cetera, as well. In the collective, you know, one of the things that I find the funnest part of coaching to me is I learn so much in the hypocrisy that's involved, because I will channel advice through me. And I truly believe that, you know, half the things that I do are channeled through me, and I'll sit there and I'll listen to myself telling someone else what to do. And in my mind, I'm like, that's really good advice, David. You should really take that. Do you ever get that feeling when you're coaching people?
We're not. Well, I'll tell you a great story. All right. So this is a wild story. So one day I go to CVS. Now, remember, I can be a bitch. That's my dark side. Okay. I can be a royal bitch. There's a worse word for me. We won't do it on air, but you understand. So I go to CVS. I cannot believe the person who is behind. The line is so friggin' long. And she is waiting for the boss who's talking about last night's Grey's Anatomy. This is years ago. And I'm like, oh my God. So by the time I get up to CVS, I'm now a complete royal bitch to the poor woman who's brand new. I've never seen her. So I'm like, I walk out, I get in my car. I am now a block down going home to go coach people on living true and having integrity and being a great human. And I'm at the stop sign. I'm like, oh my God, you were just such a fucking asshole. I turn around, I go back. Perfect. The line is that long. I wait on the line. I get up there. She's bug-eyed because I just killed her before. And I'm like, I am back because I was a complete asshole. You did not deserve my wrath. I apologize for being a bitch. You did not deserve that. I apologize. She was thankful. I went home and could tell that story, because how am I not going to walk the talk if I'm going to yell at you and fight for your dream and tell you you're not allowed, and then I just went and did that and I hide it from you? No. So part of us is, no, we got to walk the talk. Doesn't mean we're perfect, but we own where we suck every day.
You got to own it. Accountability is so huge in my life, with gratitude as well. But also one of the key components is people have a difficult time with forgiveness, and they don't understand. I get a lot of times, you know, I don't understand forgiveness. What do you you know, and dealing with forgiveness, obviously in the corporate setting, it's even more interesting and conflictual because of the egos that exist in boardrooms and in business units. How do you teach or coach on forgiveness? Oh, I froze you with that question, my dear. Come on, Instagram. Come back if you can see me, hear me. Forgiveness, forgive yourself. Beth. Good morning, Jake. Anyway, this is such a great conversation, and we've frozen Beth in such a precarious position. She is so illuminating. She dropped. How cool is she, by the way? At Handle Group, if you want one of the best corporate consulting and private coaching companies in the world, Lauren and Beth, they're incredible sisters that help to clear the interference and corrosion between what you're already connected to. I love the way they teach. So many people teach the same philosophies, the same frequency, some do it better than others. And Beth and Lauren do it in an extraordinary way that makes us feel good as we go internet. But I'll keep answering questions while we wait. Here we go. At Handle Group. Thank you, Carly. You're amazing. How to know which career you want to pursue. Oh, there she is. I mean, what you want to pursue when you're conflicted between two. Do an inventory of your own values. Here we go. Let's grab Beth for a last question. She's joining. I got her here. There she is.
My phone just died. It went like, bye, sorry. I don't even know. I've never done that.
Wonderful pose that it froze you in like this.
Okay, yeah, there I am. Okay, I am.
So we'll finish off real quick.
Yes.
I gave you some great compliments as well while you're gone. But if
you
can, let's talk about forgiveness just to finish up.
Yeah, let me give you the definition. Yeah, let me give you my definition of forgiveness.
Please.
All right.
I love your definitions, by the way, so that's why I love it.
No.
Explained it so well.
It just gets right to the heart of it. So here's forgiveness, everyone. Forgiveness is you do not, you give up your right. You don't approve of what a person did or you did. So forgiveness is not about you approve that you just socked your kid or that you just, were a bitch to somebody, right? It's you don't approve of it, but you give up your right to resent yourself or the other for it. You give up playing the card of resentment. So I will never approve of how my mother raised me, but I gave up my right to resent her for it ever again. Like, enough already, really? So it really is. So when I do something that is horrific to me, it really is, all right, I promise do not ever do it again. I hit my daughter 5 times by the time she was 3.5. Like, so awful. And on the last time she was 3.5, I smacked her across her face. And I could not believe, oh my God, I'm turning into my mother. I confessed it to everyone and then made a promise with the consequence and never did it again. My promise with her now is if I ever touch her again like that, I owe her $500. Like, no, that is not the mother I'm committed to being. So in any area you want to change a bad behavior, you need 3 things. You need a consequence. Something so annoying that you have to pay that will will stop you in your tracks. And then you need someone to hold you to account. So that's the only way to change something. You can't be like, oh, I'll never do it again. Yes, you will, unless you intervene.
I love that. And you have to meet my wife. You guys will be best friends. But she gave my mom parenting advice and about me. And You'll love the parenting advice. Her parenting advice was, you should have hit David. The problem with David is you never hit him. And I think we have different experiences. The meme of Rafiki from The Lion King where he sits there and he says, I don't forgive others because they deserve it. I forgive others because I deserve it. And that's classically aligned with what you do. Everyone can find you at Handle Group, extraordinary executive, corporate, and life coaching. You and your sister Lauren. What makes coaching so important is not just the understanding philosophies and strategies that we have, but what makes you guys so incredible to frequency ideas and transcode them down to like our friend Justin Pugh, so that he can understand it and get motivated and inspired by it and make it fun. Your stories and lessons are extraordinary. Your definitions and examples are exceptional. And that's what makes you and your sister such extraordinary coaches. And I appreciate you because I know you're one of my 1,000 inadvertently to empower the world to be happy and clear that corrosion and interference. Please keep in touch. Where else can people find you besides at Handle?
Just group.com. And then for anyone listening today or listens, if you put in playbook into Inner You Career, you get it for half off. You get it for the $325. Go online, you'll see all our programs free, money, etc., and check us out. We're having a ball taking care of people.
Oh, I love that, and I love you. Thank you so much. Let's do this again.
Thank you. Yes, for sure.
Take care.
All right, bye, David.
Awesome,
bye,
Beth.
everybody.
Bye,
Thank you. Bye.
Extraordinary. extraordinary. We have Beth Wisen. Beth hand the Jewish tilde. Handel. I called it Handel. She's like, no, Handel. We'll all go to shul together for Yom Kippur. Awesome. Anyway, let's keep it going. A few questions here. Good morning, Colleen. Colleen's just such a great leader of our team, and wanted to give her a shout out. She is on these things at 5:30 in the morning, at 7:30 at night, 7 days a week. She has activities she gets paid for and activities she doesn't, and has grown. And Justin, welcome again, Justin Pugh, you funny dude. All right. Intelligence have a direct connection with desire and inspiration. Of course, think of the word infinite. It has a connection to everything. Infinite and limitlessness. We are just what are we? Just an instant between limitless and infinity, and everything else is there. I grew up in Jewish culture. I'm more a Jew to Buddha, and even lean towards some of Joel Osteen is my boy. So I'm into uniting. I want everyone united together in goodness and connected to goodness, whatever you want to define that as, source, God, Jesus, Muhammad, Joseph Smith. I don't care. Let's all join together. Let's make ourselves equal, then make ourselves different. Let's appreciate the commonalities between us and then make ourselves different. That's the way that we do it. Let's not separate us and focus in on the difference. Let's focus in on the commonality, and then let's appreciate the difference. Okay? Very good. Here we go. Is creativity something that can be practiced? Creativity is the expression of genius through you. Your expression of genius, the expression of that source, light, love, and lessons, and everything can be practiced. Different things in there. Let's keep these questions coming. When did you begin to be aware of the strength of power of manifestation? I think 2 years before I lost everything, it started what they call a quantum shift, a great transformation, where I started identifying and creating awareness to what I was always doing, what I paid attention to and gave intention to create the coincidences in my life, and how was I painting my imagination and then materializing that painting. And that process and practice has been occurring for 15 years now, and my life has never been better in understanding the practice of manifestation with the law of attraction combined with the law of Goya. If you don't know what the law of Goya is, it's get off your ass. You got to go and do something. Be efficient, effective, and statistically successful. I have 5 daily practices, a habit machine that can manifest anything that you want, taking nothingness and making it a possibility, becoming inspired, making it a probability, and then taking that probability and making it your perspective. Very, very good. Keep the questions coming, everyone. These are great. Out of all the principles you teach, which do you see the most people having trouble with? Consistency. Yeah, for whatever reason, the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious continuum is resistant to doing something every day, especially good things. Why should we do that when it's easy just to sit here and do nothing? We want to stay in our comfort zone. So consistency, to me, is the one thing that everyone has trouble with. Proof, the number one piece of advice that I can give you, good morning, Kate, is to say thank you before you go to bed and when you wake up. I've studied physics, quantum physics, and metaphysics, and know that it will change your life. I've surrounded myself with the greatest people, the unbelievable thought leaders of the world, all who agree that gratitude is the most powerful thing. And yet, although we guarantee if you can say thank you before you go to bed and when you wake up for 30 straight days, it will exponentially change your life. By tonight, half of you won't say thank you. By tomorrow morning, another half won't say thank you. And within 3 days, almost all of us won't say thank you. If that's not proof that consistency is the hardest thing, I've given you a gift for free that you can practice. One simple thing that takes 0.1 seconds every day. 0.1 seconds to think, say, or do thank you before you go to bed and when you wake up. It has that exponential effect, but yet we can't do it every day. Weird, but true. All right, keep the questions coming. These are great. Which is your favorite healthy food that makes you energetic and why? I like kale. I know it's a superfood. Big fan of kale. Not a fan of how it sticks to my teeth. I have more people in my office tell me after I eat kale, they'll give you. But I love it. I love kale, and I think it's super powerful for you. Remember, we have the perfect pitch training on Friday. Join us, David at dmeltzer.com. If you haven't seen them, go to Spotify, go to Entrepreneur. We're featured there. The Playbook. We have great podcasts, just killing it for you. And if you haven't joined my text community, you get everything, free books, exercises, guides, etc. Just text me 949-298-2905 to join my text community. Thank you. All right, let me answer some more questions. Thank you for keeping these coming. Best coach by far, that's easy. Best coach in the NFL, Bill Belichick. How can you, look, I don't even like New England, but how can you argue anything other than Bill Belichick being the best coach in football? I think he could make me, just look at Matt Castle. Go do historical analysis, what he did for Matt Castle. He should still be writing checks back to Bill Belichick as he got a huge contract with Kansas City after taking New England to the pay. The guy didn't even start at USC, and Bill Belichick makes it happen. Just watch this season as well. Incredible. Let's see here. Keep them coming. Keep the questions coming, guys and ladies. What was the number one lesson you learned during the college experience? Looking back, how to study. Studying is paying attention to and giving attention to the coincidences I want. I wasn't a good studier. I was great at enjoying the consistent, persistent pursuit of my potential, especially in football and athletics, which I had lower potential than other things in my life. But I learned how to be a student at Occidental College. I learned how to pay attention to and give attention to the coincidences that I wanted in my life. And that's a great gift. I want everyone, the number 3 practice of the habit machine is to be a student, especially a student of your calendar. Being a student, I started to use a lens of productivity, playing 2 sports and highly academic school and having a social life and a variety of other things, family and stress. And growing up, I learned to have those lenses provide value to others, a lens of accessibility of how to access what I wanted and to be accessible to others, and how to be inspired. Joseph, good morning, my friend. I see you there. Fluffy puppy life. Thumbs up to you. Sweet. Janama, good morning. Thank you. Keep these questions coming, everyone. I appreciate it. They're loading up here. Let's see here. When did you start living an abundant life? Well, there's just degrees of abundance. So I started when I was born in the process of living an abundant life, and I'm still practicing being more and more abundant without those interferences, void shortages, and obstacles that we create for ourselves. We have my friend Roger coming on with something super cool, the Auto Hunter Auctions. Unbelievable way to experience classic vehicles. Big fan of my favorite car I have is a 55 Ford Thunderbird. And just waiting for Roger to join us here. If any of you like cars, classic cars are so much fun. And especially now that cars are changing and soon to be completely different. They'll be flying off of batteries in the next decade. And some of these classic cars, the Chryslers and Fords and, powered machines that are steel with big engines are just pieces of art in my opinion. Looks like we're having trouble connecting though to my dear friends. Let's try this again. Roger will grab you once again. Hopefully you see it there. Waiting for you to join us. And what a pleasure it is. Here we go. There he is.
Hey, hi, David.
Hi, thank you so much for your patience and coming on. I've been so excited to talk to you. I don't know, but my favorite car that I own is it's really a gift I gave my wife for her 50th birthday. We have a 50th it's my hour and a half vacation, you know, or 2 hour vacation. It doesn't matter what day it is. If I jump in the car with my wife, and even if we take it to the grocery store or to get one drink or something, I feel as if I am in, you know, Venice or Porto, you know, I just am in a
Exactly.
different world. And what is it about classic cars that have that feel and energy and perspective?
Hey, David, you know what's also great about that? As great as you feel, people that are looking.
You know, and I live in Orange County, so this is a, you know, a very affluent area in Orange County, and people love cars out here because of the weather, et cetera. And you know, you go to one of the hotels to have a drink on the cliffs, and there's, you know, Bugattis and, you know, and they move those
Beautiful.
cars over for your car to park
That's
it
right.
out front, and
They do.
the
They do.
valets love your car more than you do. It's extraordinary.
It's so much fun. I get more kicks out, more of a kick.
Car, it reflects a personality. I got to share with you real quick because it goes in line with your website and how people love this and how many people visit. I'm in bed doing a video, doing research on flipping cars, and not classic
Mhm.
cars, but
Yep.
figuring out and
Mhm.
teaching people how to start with $1,000 and end with 50,000 by flipping cars.
I'm
And
gonna have to write that down.
and I do have videos about it if people are interested.
Mhm.
I love cars, so you know, for me, the game of just flipping and being able to drive them for a couple days, then sell them, it's all my passion. Selling cars, all in one. So I'm searching that's in Michigan. It actually has
Mhm.
Michigan plates that says T-Bird, and it's in a classic car place in Michigan. And she looks over and she said, "That's my dream." I looked at her and said, "What's your
Wow.
dream?" She said, "That car is my dream car. I've always wanted that car." And now I didn't even know she liked cars, right?
Isn't that wonderful? What a great story.
And so I screenshotted it, went to the office, bought it for her 50th birthday, say had it shipped out to it's 6 months. It sat there still at the classic car place in Michigan. 2 weeks before her birthday, had it shipped out, prepared with a big bow to give to her at her birthday party. And I would
Um,
have never known, and the experiences that we share together in the car as well have outweighed any other asset that I have experientially. And I think it's more important now. It's like baseball cards. You know, I just said before you're coming on, you know, in the next decade, cars are going to change so dramatically. They're going to be flying with batteries. And I believe that in the next day, you'll have flying cars, will be Jetsons.
yep,
And
yep. There's
I
no
think the
question.
value of these other cars, these classic cars, will even become more energetic. They'll carry more of a frequency than they already do. You know, give me an idea of what people do on your website, because I know they do a lot more than buy and sell.
That's true. So just a few years ago, our marketplace, classiccars.com, David, is very popular. We have about 4.5 million visitors per month, and we've got about 37,000 cars for sale at any given time. So it's very, very popular. And a couple of years ago, you know, like any marketplace, it's made up of buyers and sellers. And as soon as you either buy or sell, there's no reason to go to the marketplace anymore. So we started this journal, that a blog, if you will, about almost 5 years ago now. And we have over 400,000 readers on that now. And it actually worked beautifully, you know, to keep our folks entertained and informed about what's going on in the classic car world and so forth. So that's been a huge help for us. And about a year and a half ago, we started thinking about what is our next step. And that's when we came up with this online auction idea, Auto Hunter, which is our newest brand. And we are really excited about that. So, David, this is kind of my luck usually. So we started it, thinking about it, like I said, a year ago. We actually really started putting the strategy together at the beginning of this year, and then COVID-19 hits.
Yeah.
So there we were. So we were in the really just starting to do the programming and everything else. But honestly, the staff has been terrific. We've got the product out now. We are real proud of it. We've got some different things, different differentiators that we think set us apart. And it's all about bringing interesting cars to the marketplace. When you learned about your wife is so important, because what you'll find is people serendipitously are looking at these beautiful cars or whatever, and they say, boy, I picture myself, on a mountain road, or, I picture myself on a Sunday morning taking my wife out doing this, or my girlfriend. So everything about classic cars is about the passion that it engenders. There's no question about that.
That's so true. And the experiences, I talk about weighted balance in life, from personal values to experiential values and giving and receiving values. And the auto hunter, as well as just the experience in itself, it weighs in on all four values. I will tell you, one of my favorite stories is the first day we had the car, we took it out in South Mission Beach in San Diego, where our beach house is. And I was driving. It's my wife's car. It actually, the license plate now reads Jules Bird. And right, it's hers. And I love, and she's hilarious, but top down, sunglasses, hats, and some guy's like, awesome car. And to me, and she screams over, "It's mine, mother effer."
Now, what else would make someone react like that, right? It's just so heartfelt. It's incredible. And you could feel the happiness there. And you're absolutely right. I mean, that's what this whole hobby is about. A love of cars, but more importantly, a love of memories, experiences that you've had in the past. We have people that write great stories about how they worked with their dad. The first thing they ever did with their dad was work on his cars, and it brought them together. Kids then graduating from college and buy that first car back for their father. A similar story to yours. Everybody has a smile on their face when they read a story like that. So I'm just so happy to be a part of it, quite frankly, because when I hear these stories, I'm Italian, David, so I really like these emotional stories.
Oh, good. Well, you are definitely a fan of mine then, because it all is about energy, emotion. And what you're really doing, Roger, is is an important lesson for everyone. Even though you and I are a little bit longer in the tooth than most of the people in the digital world, it's about community. And what I love about what you're doing is that you now have the ability to build such a bigger community. In all the different places I've lived, from Ohio to Michigan to California to New York, there's all these car clubs. And before we had this digital ability to access so many people, there's this community where, people would meet on Sunday mornings, and, they'd have access to 100 or 200 people. And it's still a beautiful community. But what I love about the community aspect of the digital platforms like Auto Hunter, like ClassicCars.com, is it's thousands and millions of people that are sharing and enjoying, not the separateness, right? Not the separateness, but we're enjoying the commonality. We are making ourselves equal. And then, because there's different cars and different tastes and different likes, we're appreciating the differences between us. But there's a common community of, we love this experience together. These classic cars, we love them. People love them. And then and I think this lesson needs to be transferred over to every part of our lives of community, from politics to religion to race to all the things that we're feeling right now, and the dogmatic separation that's causing us to create, all of these negative feelings, not the emotional things that you and I feel as the Italian and the Jew, right? We just make different foods, call them different, the same foods, different names. But
that's right.
And so for me, I wanted you to have on to just, as a last point, talk about the community itself and how important the emotional aspect to that community of making people happy and feel good.
So, David, I think you hit it right on the head. In an age right now where everybody is polarized, this is one of those things that brings everybody together. Everything else is set aside. So, look, another thing that's really important to my heart and to our company is that you mentioned it a little bit earlier. I'm older than you, David, but what you said is true. Here we are now. My age group is reaching a point now where they're becoming more sellers than buyers, let's say. So it's extremely important for us to bring in that next generation of people into the site. And that's another reason why Auto Hunter is sort of like our stepping stone into that, where we have more later model cars, if you will, and not just from the 50s and 60s and muscle cars and so forth, but bringing in some foreign cars as well, and some cars that folks that are now in their 30s and 40s, what they experienced these great things in their lives then. That's what's becoming popular now. So I'm really excited about this next step. We've been working on this for few years now. Something called the Future Collector Car Show, David, which we do here in Scottsdale, Arizona, to open up Scottsdale Auto Week. This last year we had 12,000 people attending, young folks coming in, and we had some of our old timers there too. And everybody was amazed at one thing: what we actually shared, not what divided us. The age is what divided us, but what we shared was this common love of cars. And it was so beautiful to see. I'm telling you, it was just an absolutely terrific experience for us. So that's what we're all about, really bringing people together.
Yeah, and there's so much entrepreneur history in cars. Is one of the things that I've studied. I did a movie with Angelo Pizzo and David Anspaugh, the guys who did Rudy and Hoosiers, and their third Indiana gem was about Carl Fisher, who created the Indy 500. And I've worked with Barrett Jackson over the years in traditional and the Blastoline and Dennis Gibbs and a lot of the bigger collectors, because I owned a golf course in Amherst, Virginia, which is right next to Lynchburg, which is one of the core hubs of classic cars as well, and extraordinary cars there. Each of them, though, I want to empower people, because your sites don't just sell and buy cars. They share community information, and there's such a rich history of, I'm an entrepreneur, and I teach entrepreneurs and business people. If you want to learn business, you need to study history, because you learn human nature. And one of the greatest entrepreneurs, Carl Fisher, was the richest man on earth 3 different times, went bankrupt in between, built the Indy 500 to prove American cars were as good as European cars. And now we've all come full circle that cars are like humans, in my opinion, that, they have crossbred each other, that there is no American car, right? There is no Japanese car. There is no Korean car. We have hybrided them all together, which is beautiful, because once again, that's what, Roger, you're doing with ClassicCars.com, Auto Hunter. Now, just to finish, where can people find you? I know at AutoHunter_auctions, but there's the ClassicCars.com. Where else can they reach you? Because I want to build this community as much as we can.
Well, I appreciate it. So, of course, ClassicCars.com for more of our classic cars, but AutoHunter, it's AutoHunter.com. And, daily auctions are happening all the time, so it's really a lot of fun. Great cars to just look at, and from an entrepreneurial business sense, look at how some of these cars are going, what they're going for money-wise and so forth. And I think people just get caught up in the excitement of it.
Oh, yeah. You can make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun, and build a great community. And thank you so much for joining me. Let's do this again. This is my new hobby. I'm going on it myself. I hope it's going to cost me a fortune right now, but I'm going to make a lot on the downturn. So thanks so much.
You got it, my friend. Thank you so much, David. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Roger. Congratulations. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. Bye.
How cool is that? Everybody, right? This is what this platform is about, taking something so traditional, classic cars, and buying and selling cars, creating a community, making money, and helping people and having fun with it. I think there's nothing more fun than buying and selling cars, or looking at cars and having other people look at your cars and sharing that experience generationally. That's why sports are so good. Great grandparents, children, and great grandchildren, they all can go to a game and have perspective on that human experience and human nature. Let me take one more question. Remember, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. If you want to join our community, just text me, 949-298-2905. More than happy to give you my book. Past trainings are all on Spotify, on Entrepreneur, The Playbook, one of the top entrepreneur podcasts in the world now, top 50 all time in some categories, out of 1.5 million. So you may enjoy that. Some great guests. So join me. We're going to take one more question. Let's see. Here we go. One last question. Can you talk about need ego is the ego-based consciousness, and the ego-based consciousness basically is primary and secondary fear. Primary fear is what you're afraid of. Secondary fear are the needs of the ego: the need to be right, the need to be separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, guilty, resentful. Anything that makes you feel bad is a need of the ego. And what we want to do is take 4 steps. 1, identify a need of an ego. 2, stop when we're in that ego-based consciousness. 3, drop, breathe, take at least 6 breathe. 4, be a ferocious Buddha and roll in the right direction. Don't create resistance, interference, voids, and shortages by moving in the wrong trajectory, by utilizing the wrong GPS. The wrong GPS is your ego. Use the right GPS, your potential, your truth. Great questions. Remember, join me Friday, free training, David at dmeltzer.com, free guides, exercises for all past trainings, from all to 5 sales, to transition, to when to buy or sell, the car selling deals, all that for free. Or you could text me to join my community, 949-298-2905. We are going to be filming this 2-minute drill, the new Bloomberg TV show, and all other platforms as well. So if you want to apply, David at dmeltzer.com, as a partner or as an applicant, you can be pitching how to get your kid to eat broccoli all the way to billion-dollar deals. Jeff, I see you there. Welcome as well. Dear friend, a lifelong friend of our team. So thank you, Jeff, for joining. Here we go, everyone. Be kind to your future self. Do good deeds. Have a great